Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Jump Out of Bed's vlog. My name is Pauline Perot, and what I wanted to talk to you today is something that I've actually read about, heard about, and followed for most of my life, and especially when I get in difficult situations where I know I need to make some changes and improve the way that I'm doing things. I received an email from a blog list that I'm on recently, and the author talked about the importance of what gets measured actually gets done. And I know this to be true, and he talked a little bit about it in terms of the personal side. If you really want to get your health in check, then if you're actually recording and writing down what it is you eat and how much exercise and how much sleep you have, all of a sudden we start to get positive momentum towards weight loss versus just worrying about the ultimate weight and not doing anything about it. And in business, those goals are kind of obvious too. If you're in sales, this area is really well regimented for people in a sales position very typically. So that's how many sales calls are you making, how many prospects, how many dials, how many follow-ups, etc. So those are all behaviors that we can really count and look at. If we're having a problem, why are sales low? Why aren't we feeling, really good about where our revenue is at for the quarter? Then it's great to look at those numbers. But what about on the leadership side of things? What about really being a leader in the culture in your organization or agency? And so some of the things that I think we really can think about of the concept of what gets measured, gets noticed, and we're able to make some changes. If you've been watching the videos for the last couple weeks, I've been talking about this concept of drive-by communication, of just going in someone's office and that was a really bad impression. Running by and giving them a whole bunch of information, kind of spewing at them and running away. Maybe you want to actually measure how many times in a week or in a day that you stop and just say, hey, look, sometimes I'm a little quick in giving out information. I just wanted to make sure that you got that. So can you share with me what made sense from our conversation? So maybe that's something simple for you that you want to count. How many times did you actually check in for your conversation partner's understanding? That's an example. Another example is, let's say that you really want to work on improving your gratitude. And so what could you measure? You could certainly measure maybe how many thank you cards you give out, or how many times you stop by somebody's office or go out of your way and just thank them for something that they've done for you. And those are the things that I think if we start to pay attention, even on these soft skills, even in the areas where people go, oh, it's so soft and mushy gushy, how do we measure it? It's really hard. I think there's a way, if you're really determined to change something about your personality, your behavior, your attitude, you can start to measure it. I often get in conversations with clients about living their values. And so values are those wonderful things that look great on those flying V geese posters. But if your company or organization has a set of values that's articulated, have a look. And maybe one of the things that you could pay attention to is how well does your behavior line up to what your organizational values are. And maybe that's something that you want to take out a reflection checklist on, and just note down the times when you really feel that you're on board with your organization's values and when you actually live them and demonstrate them, because what we look for we often find more of. So I appreciated reading this article. It spawned me to want to film this video and made me think of you. So I would love for you to do two things for me. One is I would love for you to share this video with somebody that you think could benefit with the idea of what gets measured, gets noticed, and we can make some improvement. And secondly, I'd love for you to drop me a line below once you're finished listening is what is the one specific thing that you'd want to work on this week that you could measure in terms of making greater improvement towards your overall success. Take care and have a great week.